those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart? Open your heart right here on the Oldie Station, on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation. And we're welcoming your phone calls at 866-972-7247. And tonight, we're going to talk about worry. What's worrying you? What's concerning you? What has you in a funk? What's not allowing you to be free? And what does worry do for you? Is it really helping you? Is it holding you back? Is it blocking your blessings? You see, worry creates a divide between you and the divine. And worry creates a divide between you and everything around you because you are not in the flow. And when you're not in the flow, you miss all the great opportunities. You kind of pinch off the energy. You kind of slide to the right or slide to the left, but you're not quite in the lane that makes it all happen. Like today, I was on my way here, a rainy day here in South Florida, and our heartfelt energy and love we send to everyone who's being disturbed by this hurricane that's passing through Louisiana and moving up. We know that weather can create unfavorable conditions. But no matter what, you have to stay in your lane. You have to keep going. You need to move forward. So today on the way, I had to make the choice how to move forward to get myself here so that I could be with all of you. And as the rain kept coming down, there was a moment where you couldn't see. Have you ever felt in your life that you can't see? Like you're blind, you don't know what's the clear path? So I can assure you it was raining so hard I really couldn't see. I couldn't really determine where the road really began and ended. It was most certainly a difficult navigating time. But I just focused on going straight. At the corner of my eye, I could see where there was just that hint of the white line. I was like, I'll just stay right here and make sure nobody's near me, and I'll be fine. Now, I could have worried. For a minute, the thought crossed my mind, like, oh, do I find a place to pull over? I was like, well, I can't do that. Got to get to the show. So I could have worried. But I didn't want to give that energy, because if I worried what was going to happen, how was I going to get there, then I was not going to be able to get here to the station. So how many times in life do you put yourself on this path of difficulties and challenges and worry about them and magnify them and make them worse, and you don't really know what your option can be? You see, when I remain calm in the difficult moment, which I've driven in the rain before, it wasn't tragedy, it was just an uncomfortable moment, a little disturbing to not be able to see when you're moving in a vehicle. But as I listened to my inner self was like, it's fine, just keep going. But I could have listened to the worry of, well, what's everybody else doing on the road? And, what if, you hit some water and you can't see, and all those possibilities that could happen. And I didn't really want to give in to any of that. So I chose to stay on the path. So how many times have you worried about your finances and thought, I don't know how I'm going to be okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to financially afford things. How am I going to be able to create more abundance when I'm feeling stuck and trapped? And there's not enough now. How am I going to get there if this is all I have? If this is all I can make? This is all my job offers me. There's no other way to make more money and everything's more expensive. So what am I going to do? And then we put ourselves in that tailspin. Have you ever been in the tailspin? The tailspin that makes you almost self-destruct and creates an analyzation and a paralyzation, and you're in this frozen survival mode of you are just going through the motions, but You are just not in the God flow because you are locked in on all the things that could go wrong. So many things can happen, but things are out of our control. Earlier today, so as if driving in the rain wasn't enough, earlier today, all of a sudden the screen on my phone decides to go black. I don't know. But I know what I said inside. Ruh-roh, we're in trouble. So I fiddled with it a little bit. Nothing was happening. Now, I could worry. What am I going to do? Oh, my God. Or I could just go to what comes next? What do I need to fix? What can I do? How do I connect with people on the phone? I'm scheduled for appointments. How can I make those connections with them? What tools do I have? So lucky for me, I was able to contact through my computer. I still had my iPad. There were options. And so I circumvented what felt like a little mini crisis. And then I had to deal with it after that. And none of which was slated for the things I wanted to do today, but I was also in the energy of gratitude that I was able to figure it out. I was in the energy of gratitude that I had the ability to go to the phone, the mobile place, and sit with them for a minute and figure out what I was going to do next. And I had just enough time to do that, to just get back home, to then make my drive here. I mean, if I planned it, I couldn't have planned it more perfectly. In spite of the unforeseen circumstances that happened today, it all played out perfectly. When I tell you I walked in the door right before the song started for our opening, that's exactly when I walked in. And I knew as I was getting here, I would be here on time. Just not the time I would normally get here. But what's a few minutes? So what are you worrying about that maybe has a silver lining, or maybe has a way of working itself out? You just need to go through it. You need to, for lack of a better analogy, weather the storm. Weather the energy of difficulty and challenge, and trust that the universe has your back, that you have guides and angels and ancestors that stand all around you, and they know how to help you. They know how to nudge you. But when worry sinks in, when we're locked in that energy, how are you going to catch the clue? How are you going to come up with something inspiring to make a shift and change? Maybe you missed that phone call that could have offered you another opportunity if you're looking for new work or additional work to cover your financial picture. Maybe you are trying to figure out what to do in a family matter or a relationship, and you feel stuck and you don't have the words and you just don't have an answer. The universe will always prompt you. The universe will always assist you through whatever the difficulty may be. Worry separates you from the divine. Worry separates us from the inspiration that is us. Worry disrupts us and doesn't allow us to be our true, authentic self. It ruins the connection to our God self, almost short-circuiting it, and doesn't allow us to be tuned in to a better frequency. When I also look at this show, our show on worry, I look at last week. Now, this show was supposed to be last week's show. So you may say, well, what happened then, Sarah Spiritual, right? I was thinking maybe I'm not supposed to do a show on worry because it's creating a lot of worry because we don't know how we're going to get it off the ground. There was a little snafu with the internet and something wasn't working and we didn't know if it was going to come up, and it was just a little bit of a mess. So we said, all right, we'll rerun a show from before and we'll do worry this week. And then on the journey of getting ready to come here, look at all that happened. And I said to myself, there must be a lot of worry in the world. And somewhere out there, there's energy and forces that don't want people to know that when they worry, they waste their energy. When they worry, they separate themselves from God. When you worry, you're not in your flow of your heart source and the energy of love and the energy of inspiration. When you're faced with adversity and you worry, you only magnify what's not working. There's a sense of you're drowning, you're helpless, you're hopeless, you're trapped, you're stagnant, you're tied. It's overwhelming. And then you drown in it, and then worry envelops you, and you lose your rhythm. I said, wow, there must be quite a bit of individuals in this world, many, many people, who are suffering from worry. Because something is clearly trying to make sure that we all sit and worry. Are you worried about what's going on in the world? Are you worried what's going to happen next? Is it in your control? You really don't have much control. All you can do is have your voice. And if it's a political matter, all you can do is have your vote. And then from there, it's out of your control. You have to trust that there's a force higher and greater than you that's going to take whatever your thoughts and energy are and magnify it and help assist bringing about a change in the world, in your country, in your community, in your neighborhoods, in your family. You have to trust that when there is a divide, something will always come in and unify. There's always an energy force that's there for us. So what has you down? What makes you feel sad? What doesn't let you feel your own happy self? What keeps you up at night? And what do you do with that? When you wake up, is your mind racing in a million directions and you have to ask yourself, I don't know what to do first, or I don't know what to do next, or I don't know where to begin? Do you ask yourself, what do I do? Are you losing yourself in anxiety? Is your breath being taken away because you're so tight in your diaphragm, because you're so restricted, because you're worried? So then breathe. Breathe knowing that the breath of life that fuels you is the same breath of life that fuels an entire universe, and that entire universe is working through you. And nothing can stop you, hurt you, prevent you from reaching your goal, your destiny, from attaining your happiness, your joy, your harmony, your abundance. Nothing but maybe you. Maybe if you choose to become paralyzed in worry, you may miss some great opportunities and kind of stay in a pattern longer than necessary. You're not meant to stay in worry. You're not meant to stay in discomfort. But yes, choices we've made put us in situations. And choices we've made create disconnect. Choices we've made do not allow us to align with the divine plan. But eventually we find our way. Have you ever done something in your life and made a choice and then thought to yourself later on, not too far after the choice, I don't think this was a good idea? Well, then don't worry about it. You did it already. Don't beat yourself up. You did it already. Don't criticize yourself and give yourself some talking to that reminds you of all the other things you haven't done right. Make a choice. And the choice is to choose to change and find your way out of the choice that you've already made, and trust that the universe is going to help you. Don't worry that, oh my goodness, you've got yourself in another hot mess. Because then you start to drown. And most people worry, and they worry in silence, and they don't ask for assistance. They don't ask for help. And I know many of us, we don't want to impose. We don't feel that people will step up and assist us, and we can see how that's possible. And not everybody can help you. But even if it's a good friend to listen to you, even if it's someone to bounce ideas off of, or someone who can give you some suggestions and put you on a better path, or make a connection for you so that you can choose a different path. You won't know unless you ask. But if you're sitting in condemnation of self and you're sitting there worrying, how are you ever going to attract something and someone to be that beacon of light on the dark, stormy night to take you away from the darkness? And I'll tell you, darkness and worry, they have this very hypnotic power. It has this ability to just surround you and isolate you and make you not feel like you can ask for help, make you feel embarrassed and incapable, inept. It makes you feel as if you don't do anything right. Worry makes you feel as if you're not worthy or good enough to have what you want or the solution to the problem of what you're worrying about. Worry has this very illusionary energy that makes you feel like all is lost. Almost woe is me. There's no positive solution. Is that the voice you want to listen to? Do you want to listen to the voice of worry? Do you want to lose yourself in the shadow of the darkness of worry? Or do you want to say, okay, worry, you fooled me before, but you have no more power over me. I gave you my 2 minutes. I can't give you any more time because I've got to align with a better plan. I've got to surrender the outcome to higher forces. I've got to sit and be still and ask the divine to inspire me so some new opportunity can present itself to drag me away from you, worry, take me out of the darkness, and give me a solution to whatever it is I'm worrying about. Or people who can help support me in the journey through what I'm worrying about. People who will rally around me, cheer me on, inspire me to come out of a difficult situation. So many things in this world are based in fear. And fear feeds worry. And worry feeds fear. So if you look at all the things that are based in fear and concerns and upcoming issues in the world, financial pictures, health crises, well, you name it, upcoming battles and wars, inability to have a job because of layoffs, financial instability that affects our ability to feed our families and pay our mortgages. I would say yes, there's a lot of things to be concerned about. But fear will make sure that you worry, and when you worry, you're going to miss the way out of it. Even if there is cause for concern, the universe has a plan just for you. Your own special route around the fields of worry, the roads of darkness, to bring you to the other side. So, can you let go of that worry? Can you write a letter to your angels, your guides, to God, and say in this moment of now, I fear this, but at this moment I surrender my worry to you, to the divine supreme power, for a solution, a resolution, an idea, an inspiration, something to raise me above what is trying to weigh me down and what I've allowed to anchor inside of me and rip me apart. Chew up my joy, destroy my harmony, separate me from love, cause me health issues, I surrender it now. I let it go. And I choose a new path. I choose the opportunity to open up to something new. And to let worry have no more power. It is truly a time to change. And it is truly a time to take a look around and say, if you look hard enough, there could be quite a bit that you could worry about. Do you want to rob your joy of the day? For today is the day you have. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow isn't here yet. So you only have this moment. Do you want to waste it on worry? Or do you want to find joy, happiness, something that can fill your heart and align you with everything that is pure and everything that's meant to be for you? Well, we welcome you here tonight on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and golly gee, I'm really glad I made it here. I wasn't worried. And I know that everything happens for a reason. So maybe if we had played our show of worry last week, all the right people wouldn't have been gathered around to listen. Maybe you wouldn't have gotten the message that you needed to hear tonight because we did it last week and you were too busy. I trust that no matter what I think needs to happen, there's always a greater plan working. And that I get to be the vessel, the voice of spiritual reason, the messenger, the conduit of energy and frequencies to help you, our listeners here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, shift your consciousness and have a much better journey on this path of life. Well, we're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to come back and answer your questions. Your questions all across the nation at 866-972-7247. We're also welcoming your questions on Facebook and YouTube. And we are so glad that you're tuning in. Stay safe if you're out in your cars, and don't go away. We're going to be right back. The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What
Yes,
we
indeed, the
did
world is changing
before
now.
doesn't work.
And what we did before just might not work. But tonight, we're going to help break some patterns and break you free of some worry. And in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have an in-depth conversation with Stacey Holler. Stacey Holler is an astrologer who connects us monthly to our planets so that we know what's going on for your astrological sign. So I'm really excited to have Stacey come because this is going to be an incredible time for humanity. And I know Stacey's got a lot to say about what's going on in the planets and the stars and how that affects your destiny and the choices that you have coming up. Now, we all have choices. And yes, the planets may have an influence, but you do have free will. Or do you? Are the planets really running the show, or do you get to navigate some of the storyline in between? You see, we are really being faced with opportunities to let go of our old ways, our old beliefs. The world really has been changing for longer than you even realize. And when we go back to the past 16 years and we move ourselves forward, it's a time for us to take a good look at where we are and what we've learned in this past 16 years. So you think about, where were you 16 years ago? And what was going on in your life, and how is that different now or the same? We need to take a good look. Perhaps some of the things you're worrying about are things that you're kind of stuck in a rut because you keep finding yourself in a similar pattern. It is truly time for you to let go and, well, as they say, let God. So we're going to go to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And we're also going to be talking to our friends on Facebook and YouTube. I can't wait to see what's going on the Facebook and YouTube feed. And if you're on our Facebook feed, share the stories, share the light, share the love. And those of you on YouTube, be sure to like the page, follow the page, and tell someone about the page. Because we want to shed a lot of light and love during these times particularly. So I've got to go to my phone lines. And I've got a full board. So let's start to get some calls taken so we can free that up. So if you want to pick up the phone and call us at 866-972-7247, you can. So we're going to the phone lines, and I've got to go to Deerfield. I've got Cheryl. Cheryl's on the line. Cheryl, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah. I'm so glad you're safe.
Good to connect with you.
You're there to talk to me.
Yes. And so what's going on? How can we help
I'm not
you?
doing very good
Ooh.
at all tonight. For some reason, I hear myself echoing. Is that normal?
Sometimes, but I don't know if we hear you echoing in
Oh.
the radio, but
Oh, good. Okay, it's better now.
all right.
I'm calling because I'm doing absolutely horrible, and everything you said tonight was completely directed to how I'm feeling. I'm in the darkness. I'm drowning, and I haven't slept since last Monday, this past Monday. I haven't been able to eat, sleep. I'm a wreck. In fact,
You're a wreck.
I drive, and I don't even know how I got there. And I need an answer to this severe worry that I have, because I don't know what the outcome is going to be.
What is the question,
But
Cheryl?
the question is, am I going to get fired from this new job? I have been attached to something dishonest, and I've been put into a situation where if there's evidence that's found to incriminate me, I will be terminated immediately. I just started this new position. It was a transfer. It's a very good one, and I have been allowed to start training this week, but it's in the balance. I haven't heard anything since I've been told that they're going to investigate into it in great detail.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I wonder if this is the last day. Are they going to call me in today? It's humiliating. It's embarrassing. My family is devastated that I would be in this position. And it's never have I ever been brought in for a meeting. And I just can't bear it. I can't bear not knowing what they're thinking, what they're going to do.
You have to take a breath, because even in this case, everything happens for a reason. And when I look at this energy, I also feel like there's a lot more to the story. And I also feel as if, from what Spirit is showing me, that it's not just about you. There's more to the story and more to the people associated with this story. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
I feel like we help facilitate something. And I don't feel that the blame falls all on you. And I also feel that you have the opportunity to explain yourself. You see,
I did with all my heart. I did with all my heart and soul.
Yeah.
With every ounce of my energy, I did. And I gave everything that I could to explain that it wasn't me, that it was from something else. And, you know, I need this job. I need it for my family. I need it for my reputation, my career, everything. This is a negative, horrible thing to be attached to me.
Yes. Well, they are taking it under advisement, and they did hear your words. But they also have this energy of they need to set an example. And I think you're aware of that. And I believe that that's also one of the things that's concerning you, that you don't want to be the example of what others should not do or be associated with. And because we're on radio, I think we want to watch how we phrase this, but I will say this to you. There's more to this story, and the buck does not stop only on you. So you can explain your reason, your rationale, why you did what you did, and then you have to trust that God has a solution for you. When I look at where you are in the journey of your life, and I see that the past 2 years have been extremely difficult for you for many, many reasons, Cheryl.
Yes.
And it has been very demanding. And you have been pushing yourself for quite a long time. Now, you handle something with papers, paperwork, something along those lines, please?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm seeing papers, right? And is there a mishandling with paperwork, please?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's how I see it.
Yes.
And you're not the first person to have some mishandling with papers. Just know that.
Well, they said this is the first time that they've ever had this situation happen, ever, because I asked them if this has ever happened before, and they said no.
Well, they're not going to say whether it has or not. Okay?
Well, they said it's so bizarre and so off the charts that they just can't even believe it or even know how to approach it. But I will be terminated immediately if they find out that it's something that I did.
Mm-hmm. So, if it's something you did, it was not something you did deliberately, correct? Correct. Okay? So don't put all your eggs in that basket. Do not worry. Let it go. Let God handle it.
I can't not worry. I can't. I've been praying to God on my hands and knees every morning, every ounce of my energy into praying to my gods to pray to my spirits, to pray to everyone to please help me and let this turn out okay in my favor.
Then
Every moment of my life
that's all you can
has
do.
been since that day has been praying. Every ounce of my energy has gone into it. That please, God, let this be okay.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, it's not the easiest thing for them to put all together, okay? And you were very forthcoming with them. So just let it be. Because if you worry, it's not going
I'm
to stop.
trying to.
Hear me, if you worry, it's not going to change the outcome one way or the other. It's only going to
Are
rob
they going
you
to
of
fire
peace.
me, Sarah?
I don't have that answer for you because you're asking
Did
God
I
to help
see
you.
anything?
You're asking God to help you. So what you need is a miracle. If I look at the black and white and the handling of paper, you and I both know that it's grounds for termination. We both know that. But if they can't quite put it all together and put 2 and 2 together and make it be a solid case against you, you could get a write-up. You can get a probationary period. You see how it can work out? So words have power, Cheryl. I'm not going to put it out in the energy and say, oh, the outcome that you fear the most is the exact outcome that's coming, because then for sure that's what's going to happen. That's why I don't want your mind there. We understand the cold, harsh reality, okay? And the universe and God knows that you're like, oops, okay, should have handled that better. So you've got to trust that God is going to support you. And that something positive can happen from this. Even though it looks very bleak
Could there possibly,
to you.
maybe it's a lesson learned to never, ever, 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 ever do anything that wouldn't be beneficial to me and my family. Ever.
Correct. But even there, you didn't really do it quite against your family. It was just something that came to be. And because we're on radio, we can't get into specificity, okay?
Right, of course not.
But I say to you this.
I just need to relieve myself from this pain and this suffering and this agony and the heaviness and the pain and the blood pressure and everything that's engulfing me.
It's paralyzing. It's paralyzing.
It is.
And so
terrible.
Let's do this, shall we? Take a nice breath. There you go. In the moment of now, we call upon the heavens, the angels, the guides, to find a resolution to alleviate the pressure, the trouble, the problems, the headaches, the outcomes that will be less than favorable for Cheryl. And as we ask the universe to assist us, we trust that there is a solution that is not in any way, shape, or form anything like what you fear the most. And we trust the universe is going to support us. We know that our angels are with us. And we know that any misstep we didn't do in malice. So we know that the universe, the divine, does not hold negative energy towards us. For to err is human. And so it is all right to just let it go and know that this too shall pass. Just breathe and know that the angels are with you, that the power of our words can transform anything, and that in praying Psalms 32 and 34 and 27, things can have a powerful resolution, and you have the power to just relax and trust that there's a force greater than you acting here and now. Can you do that? Take a breath. There you go. And I know, Cheryl, that even though everyone's got their story, there's so many people listening that can relate to that paralyzing fear that has you on your knees. And then I'll tell you that when we're on our knees, God has us in a way that we really have God's attention and God has your attention. So you're going to pray Psalm 32, Psalm 34, and Psalm 27, and you're going to keep praying, and you're going to ask for favor because those psalms have power. You're going to ask for favor so that those psalms will transform the situation.
Oh, God, I hope so. I have to. It has to. It has to.
It has to. So
It has to. It has
then
to.
let's not think anything other than that.
Okay.
Cheryl, I know that this is a difficult time, but we do know that there can be a positive outcome. I'm just going to ask that you take a breath and just let things unfold, all right? And be sure to keep me posted.
I will.
All right, honey.
Thank
you so
Sarah.
much.
Thank you so much. You've helped
You're
me
welcome.
so much, and I dearly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. 866-972-7247. Have you ever been there? On your knees, just hoping God would solve a problem, fix it, resolve something, bring someone back, make up for an error that you've made? I think we've all been there in some way. So those of you who can, send some positive vibes to Cheryl. We're all in this together, and none of us are perfect. We've all had a misstep. We're going to go to the phone lines again at 866-972-7247. And from Deerfield Beach, we are going to Georgia. I've got Pamela on the line. Pamela, how are you tonight?
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Pamela. If you could speak up for me, I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Hi, Sarah. Is that better?
Okay. A little bit better, thank you. Yes. And Pamela, what is your question for us? What's concerning you today?
Well, I think that I'm pretty good with the worry stuff, but we always have more to learn. I tend to, if I get in worry, I try to catch myself, and I'll go to gratitude. However, I'm looking, I guess, for your perspective for me for any component that I might be missing, because it's funny, you and I have talked about my house before, and I have learned to let it go and to step away and those sorts of things. And now I'm kind of having a little chuckle because I had a plumber that was working on some things for me, and they had a vacation and things went on and life moved forward. And now I'm trying to get in touch with them, and it's been a couple weeks. And I always remember, let it go, like, I'm, not running anyone down. And
yes.
I talked to the office manager a couple times and said, I really need so-and-so to call me back because I'll wait 3 and 4 and 5 days. So help me with, and everybody else, I guess, that's listening. I feel like I know how to step away from the worry or take myself out of that zone. But then if something's not moving, I don't, and I know they're the right people to help. So it's not a question of if they're the right people to help. Is it just a situation where they're really busy?
It's just a situation where things are not lining up for them to get to you. It's a combination of being busy, and they also don't have, for some reason, I feel like they don't have all the right workers available to cover all the jobs that they're committed to. Feel like there's snafus and something in supply chain issues that are just bogging down the organization. I'm seeing that it's not that there's something wrong with the work they're doing for you. It's just a matter of there are things blocking them from performing in a timely manner. It's not unusual when it comes to things of construction, plumbing, electricity. These things do happen. And as long as we know they are the right fit energetically and physically, that they can do what you need, then you have to trust that things are going to be in the right time. And let's not forget that we were just in a very interesting Mercury retrograde, which I would say I thought I got through rather well until today, and we're still a little bit in the shadow, so kind of interesting that anything that could have gone wrong during Mercury retrograde waited to after Mercury's official direct to just have that lag time and create a snafu. So I'm not the only one. So it's happening to many people, many different ways. And so if that company, those workers, that foreman of the job is having a difficulty getting things together, and Mercury retrograde is kind of throwing the monkey wrench, the plumber's wrench in it all, and snaking it up, then we got trouble. So just know that as I look at the energy and I take us closer to, I know you've got plans and deadlines, blah, 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 but, you know, I can only say what Spirit tells me. When I look at the energy of September 27th, September 28th, I just feel like things are back in a swing, a track, things are working for you. So whatever's slowing it up over these next 10, 12, 14 days, maybe they show up and then they disappear for another day and then they come back. Just go with the flow and run around your house and say out loud, everything's always working for me. Everything aligns perfectly, and just trust that. All right?
Yes, I do that actually. Everything's
Beautiful.
always working for me. Everything's working out. So it's been interesting. If I could ask you one more question, because one of the times we talked, and we haven't talked in quite some time,
Yes.
you were talking about the sale of this house, and you said I'm about 6 months behind schedule, and now, of course, we've moved forward in the calendar. Can you tell me, I know that anything for us does not pass by us, so I know that it will fall into place when it's the right timing. Any chance you can see any kind of timing?
So when I look at the energy and where you are now, this is the perfect time to make a financial transaction. Now, when I say this is the time, this is the period of energy and energetic time, which does not follow man's time. So this energy that I see lets me know that by your birthday, this is wrapped up. Now, can I say that I feel like it's closer to February? By February of 2025, that this should be done, right? Because you are behind schedule. But February 2025 to your birthday of next year makes me feel like we get this resolved.
Okay.
Just keep
Thank you.
positive thoughts, my dear. Thank you so much. All right,
Wonderful.
bye
I
for now.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye for now. 866-972-7247. And we're going to go to Brandon, Florida, and we've got Jessica on the line. Jessica, how are you tonight?
I'm good. Hi. How are you, Sarah?
I'm doing well. Good to connect with you tonight. We appreciate the call. We appreciate the connection. And when we look at the energy here, you should be starting to feel like a new attitude, a fresh little pep in your step. My guides tell me that you feel like you got put through the ringer and you're starting to come out. Has it been a challenging time in the months leading up to where we are now?
Absolutely, especially in my career. And that's one of the reasons why I called you today, because there's a lot happening at work. And today, my old regional manager at my current job, so there's a new regional manager that started about a month ago.
Right.
But the old regional manager got promoted to a larger property, and he called me today, and he basically asked me if I wanted to come along and work there as an assistant. So I'm an assistant manager at a property. And I asked him, would this be a promotion or would this be like a lateral move? He said it would be a lateral move with more money, but I think you would do well. But it's up to you. The ball is in your court. However, the new regional manager, I like her, but today I feel like I saw another side of her, because there's just so much things happening today, and miscommunication, and
right,
my manager hasn't.
Let me jump in.
been to
Hold
work
on.
with.
Let me jump in.
Mhm.
So when you first connect to me, it's more than just the new person that's on board. It's also some of the people and how they're playing the situation in your immediate office. So that individual is trying to prove herself, try to set things in her way, and kind of make people feel they need to be loyal to her. And she's kind of threatened by your connection with people, your rapport with people. So she's feeling a little bit on the outs. So you're seeing another side because she's trying to kind of push you down so that you don't pose a threat to her.
Is that the new regional, or is that my property manager? Because me and my property manager go through power struggles.
The new regional manager. The new regional manager.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Interesting.
So, when we look at the energy and we take, remember, there's two people that are causing you problems. You see one, I see two. And it's right now, it's a bee's nest where you are. Now, your director who left and went somewhere else, or whatever the term is that you use for that individual, they're on a different property, correct?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a regional manager as well, but yes.
Okay. And so he trusts you, and you two have a good rapport, correct?
Somewhat, yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, somewhat meaning he's a stickler for things being his way, correct?
Yeah, stickler for being things going his way, but he knows that I'll get the job done. Like, he's not having to there's a lot of things happening at that larger property when it comes to high turnover rate and you know, organization and structure, and he feels as though
he needs you.
And he needs you. That he trusts.
Correct. So are you up for the challenge? You see, only you can decide if you're comfortable where you are, because the question here within the questioning is, do I make a move? And I will tell you that if there was ever a time to make a move and have a new beginning and a fresh start for yourself in your work and your career, or a new perspective, or a new interactive role, even though it's just a lateral move, now would be the time. This window of time would be a great time.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So it's for you to decide, do you want to play getting to know you with the new person in your current property and deal with the personalities between the regional and your immediate new supervisor, right? Only you can say what you're up for, but you're starting to see many sides of a coin that you didn't even know it had, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
So I will tell you this. This week is not the week to jump ship. In other words, we're on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The energy's not conducive for you making a shift, a change, opening up your mouth and saying, I'm going over here, right? It's a time for you to be the objective, impersonal observer of a storyline of chaos and just let it unfold, okay? And see how much of it gets dumped in your lap, how the new person handles it, see how they all interact around you, and don't get caught in the crossfire. And then you decide on Monday if you want to continue the path or not. But for you, and then you listen, stay on and listen when Stacy talks about what this new eclipse is going to do for you and your astrological sign as a Taurus. And if it's a good time to make a career move, Stacy will be on in our 8 o'clock hour, so don't peace out of the show after you and I disconnect. And let's hear what the astrology has to say so that you then make an educated decision based on what Spirit is saying and what the planets are doing and how they're aligning with you for your current situation. But from what I've known and heard, it's a good time for Tauruses to reevaluate things in their career and look at things differently. And if I say to you this, where were you? I know we're a little on the 16 years ago. Where were you 16 years ago? Were we in school? What were you doing then?
I was in high school.
Yeah. And was that a difficult,
Yeah,
challenging time for you? And were you going through a lot of ways of learning to assert yourself and speak your truth and know who you are? Was there a lot of personal things going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because we moved from one city to another, and it was a culture shock, and it was
Right.
different, and yeah.
And so here we are, 16 years later, in a bit of a different culture shock, a little different environment, and now's the time to say who you are, to find yourself, to step up into the power of who you are and what you want for your life. This is what we have before us.
So I realized or noticed that you mentioned that there's two people. Well, I see one, but you're saying that there's two.
Correct.
So it's
Correct.
my regional manager, the new one, and the property manager.
Right.
But
Well,
the property manager, she's running from the regional manager, and she's going through a lot right now, and I'm having to answer
on behalf of her. Correct.
On behalf of her, and I feel like I'm throwing her under the bus when I don't mean to, but it's just like I don't know what I don't know, and it's showing that there's a major lack of communication amongst the team, which it is.
Right.
And I'm so, just like, well, why would I know this? And I was told that I was doing great in this department, and now you're telling me I'm not. And I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm running all these reports that I hadn't had to run before, and now I'm seeing everything that needs to be revealed to me, and I'm just like, this was never explained to me. I'm just told that I'm doing a good job, but you're not going into specifics. You're not telling the truth.
Right. And you see the new regional manager is kind of bringing all that to light, right?
Yes, she is. The regional manager is.
Right.
She told me yesterday that my delinquency was the worst in her region.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I was told that I was doing a good job for my property manager.
Right.
So it's like, are you setting me for failure? But where I work, it is a tough traffic. I'm having to deal with a different clientele.
We understand.
So so it's a little different. You're saying, I'm the worst in the region, but
you're not. You're not.
Our
because
clients,
obviously, and I need you to hear me because we do need to wrap this call up.
Yes, ma'am.
You have the power to shift and leave there and be under a different regional manager with some better insight and knowledge, more power as we work on that new platform and that new property, and be mindful of delinquencies there. And you can ask your current regional manager why your supervisor never said anything, right? And because this is news to you. And had you been made aware of this, you would have made an adjustment. But
oh, for sure.
She's coming to you, but she should be coming to both of you at the table, because who's also responsible? The teacher. And who's your teacher? Your supervisor, your property manager. Exactly. You see, so can you see where the mishandling even from the higher up is not? So there's something squirrely going on here. There's something screwy, something stinky in Denmark. So we need to, no offense to my friends in Denmark, but you understand. So for this minute, we are complete. Stay the course. Definitely don't do anything till after Monday. Let's hear what Stacy has to say in the astrology for Taurus. And do you know what your rising sign is?
I'm a Libra, moon and rising Libra.
Okay, so let's see what Libra and Taurus have to say for you in the astrology report for this month, and that will help you strategize what to do during this very powerful eclipse time. We thank you so much for your call, And we look forward to talking to you again. Bye for now.
Thank you.
866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we've got calls on the board, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free. 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me. Every soul has its story, like a movie playing in a different theater. And the characters, they change like water into wine. Everything
Yes, indeed. Everything comes when the stars align. And that's why they say, don't worry, be happy. What else you got to do, right? You can worry and put yourself in a funk, or you can choose to be happy and make the best out of wherever you are, whatever you're going through. And we're going to go back to our phone lines, too, as we continue to hear some music. There we go. Still playing my song underneath, but there we go. All right. We're going to hope that gets settled over there. There we go. We still have the music playing, so I just love technology. It's one of those days, but hey. Yeah. So, all right. We're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And we've got Freddie, and Freddie is in Miramar. Freddie, how are you tonight? Good to have a connection with you on this evening. How are you?
Hey, how are you? Okay.
Good. So
I have so much going on.
So much going on, moving and shaking in the workplace, right? Also looking at things in your personal life, in your personal living situation. Change is all around you, but Freddie doesn't know where does he go, round and round. Where does Freddie go? He don't know. And that's pretty much where Freddie is at this minute, all right? So let's start with, what's your question about work? I know you can't wait to get out of there, don't like the job, don't want to be there, but guess what? You're not going anywhere.
I mean, I'm just kind of wondering, like, I anything on the horizon for me?
No, not at this time.
Oh.
Stay the course with your work. Stay the course for right now. Don't make the change. Don't leap before you look. Don't do anything till after December of this year. Then we can forward you through to something greater and better, Freddie. Why are you planning on leaving?
Okay. Well, I mean, they kind of made the choice for me, so like I really got to find something now.
You mean at your current job? Yes?
I mean, current / former. Like it was a lot going on, and I was trying to stay the course, but they didn't leave me. They made the decision for me, so yeah.
Well, December is when things start opening up for you.
Oh, gosh, these could be some rough months.
That's why we wanted you to try to stay the course. That's why
I was trying, they made the decision. It was out of my hands.
Yeah, well, there was one person that was a stumbling block for you there, correct? And there was a lot of clashes with one person. I see clashes of energy. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And they made it extremely difficult, and it was almost like they were trying to push you out, get you to ease down the road and be done, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, just trust that everything will be okay. And in this moment of now, you have to stay the course. Something will open up, and you just need to know that coming into December, after your birthday, you should be feeling like you're on solid ground, right? So we're in the middle of September now. Your birthday's in November, so you're just going to have to tough it out. And trust the universe has got your back. Yes.
What about this living situation? Like, when is a change going to come?
We're not going anywhere because,
hello?
Hello? Did you hear me tell you don't take a move, darling? I know. But this is not the time to change, and I know you want to move. That's why I said that to you in the beginning, but you can't move, and now that we don't really have a good job, where are we going to go? No one's going to take you. So, we are in the moment. Hear me, because you and I have been talking for years, right? And God, going back to 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. So let's skip down the path. In the moment of now, everything is okay. Not the way you want it, but it's okay. In the moment of now, there are things that are out of your control. Nothing you can do. In the moments of now, I want you to trust that something's going to open up for you, but you have to be in the energy of gratitude for what you do have, for the roof over your head, for the food on your table, and for the strength and the ability to find new work so that you can get yourself better situated. Everything happens for a reason. If that was a hostile environment, which is how I see it, you're about one step away from a nervous breakdown. I was just trying to get you through December. All right? So we needed to get out of there. So they got the hook. They hooked you off the stage. You're gone. Curtain closed. We're done. But now we're going to move you in the direction of something new coming. And in this moment of now, you want to trust that something fabulous is coming and not worry. Don't worry. Be happy. Something good is going to come. And I also feel, Freddie, that the energy of your birthday really gives you a lot more power, and it gives you a lot more clarity. It opens you up to new possibilities because I feel like you become more aligned with an understanding of what works for you and what doesn't, and you begin to put out the energy to attract something better to yourself. You've been going from place to place to place, and none of these jobs have ever felt like they really belonged to you. They've always felt like they've been a little off kilter, not a good energetic fit. So now we want to find something. We also want to stay within the city, the town, the government. Yes, we want to stay in that arena, correct?
I mean, kind of. It don't really matter as long as they pay.
Okay.
Really.
Yep. Well, we also know it's very political where you were, right? So there was a big political game.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But, you know, there'll always be a little scuffle of personalities, right? We heard in the world of property management, that's a big scuffle, right? The supervisor's throwing a poor person under the bus.
Like you said, that power struggle, like that
Yes.
thing is real, and you don't
It's
even
real.
know sometimes. Yeah.
You don't even know, right? And sometimes we don't know who's against us. But I want you to trust that something good is going to come forward, and it is not the time to move, so stay the course. I know it's not the best living situation, but it is going to suffice. And put your energy out there that in time for your birthday, or around your birthday, you have yourself a new job. Going to take some time. That's why I kind of feel we're going to have to go to December, but you pray that you can pull it out in November. All right, Freddie, I greatly appreciate your call. I appreciate you following the show. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, but I do know that something good is going to come out of it. So try not to worry. Bye for now.
Thank you. All right, have a good one.
You too. 866-972-7247. And from Miramar, I got to go to Davie. I got Hector on the line. Hector, how are you?
Hey, Sarah, how you been?
I'm good, Hector. How are you?
I know you for many, many, many moons from long, long ago. And
Correct.
Kind of like my compass.
Yeah, you and I go back to like
2010,
2010, right around that time, right? There was a lot going on.
Yeah, you remember that. Yeah, you're right. You remember that.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
You had work and issues and money and love, and it was just a roller coaster back then.
Yes, it continues to be so, but I got lucky in meeting you, and you're like, you know, I kept you in my pocket as my compass. So when I get confused, I look at it and find what.
All right. So let's take a look at the compass, and we've got a few minutes here before we go to commercial. So, what's the question, Hector?
Relationship.
All right. Can we have a birthday of the person, please?
2/15/79.
And this person has been around for a little while, yes?
Indeed.
And this person, I feel like this birthday feels familiar to me. I don't remember people's conversations too much, but I feel like this has been something that has been close and then separate, and then so right now I see that the two of you are not quite on the same page. I just don't feel like the communication and everything is lining up in a way that you're feeling like you're being seen, heard, and everything's connecting the way you want it to be. Is that true, Hector?
The way I want it to be?
Yes. Yeah. The relationship.
No, I guess her. I mean,
you would like
no,
the
I
two of
guess
you to
it's
be
her.
closer, right? You would like the two of you to be closer, and it's not quite clicking. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a
What do you
different
feel
vision
here, Sarah?
that she does, and she seems very far away, very separate. I feel like she needs to be working on something for her work and her career and her money, and she's got things she's got to do. And I just feel like she just doesn't know how to be honored and loved. I mean, I just feel her very closed off. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but this is how I see her energy.
It kind of does. Do you see us getting back together or no?
I see her divided in a way, and let me take a look here. I don't like being the bearer of bad news today, but let me see what the universe has to say here. And there was a strong separation in this relationship in these past 2 months, 2.5, 3 months. Is this where we really kind of had a little bit more standoff? Is that true?
Kinda, yes.
Okay, so let me go back. Let me go back to July, end of June and July. Was this a difficult time for the relationship? Yes? Around that time?
Yeah, it started around there.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Okay.
started around there.
Yeah. See, that's where I see we became divided, right? And then we've been separate now, like officially kind of divided for like the past 3-4 weeks. Is that true?
Indeed.
Okay, that's what I see. I spy with my Sarah spiritual eye. Well, this is a very stubborn girl who needs a lot of time. This is somebody that's hard to get her to break out her mind. And she kind of feels like, interesting, that you weren't communicative and transparent enough with her. I'm just getting the sense that she's just feeling like you're not relaying everything that she wants to hear and see from you. And I feel like she doesn't want to wait for things to get better. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what I'm hearing. So I see here that if we do not have a reconnect, there's a window of time here for you, Hector, between now and October 10th. Don't ask me why they're giving me that number, but they're telling me 10/10, October 10th, 2024. Then most likely she's not going to be able to find her way back. Now, what does that mean Hector does? Hector does not call. Hector does not disrupt her. Hector gives her space. That doesn't mean to create fear or desperation within you. That is just simply that she needs more time, and on or around October 10th is when things really should either come together or they're going to end up staying apart. That's what I have for you. I do not have a slam dunk happily ever after. She's coming back. So you're going to have to pray. You're going to have to adhere to what she has asked of you in this period of separation. And you're going to have to trust that if she wants to connect with you, she will reach out to you so that we can have some more communication and iron out what hasn't been heard and understood clearly and correctly. I've got to go because we're getting ready to go to commercial. I hope I've given you enough to run with, and you can always follow back up with us next week. All right, Hector?
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. All right, bye for now. 866-972-7247. You write that number down so that you can call when we come back in our next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. And stay tuned. We've got Stacey Heller dialing up the planets, dialing up the energy to see what the planets have in store for you and your astrology. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The world is different now.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. 47.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guests alone, and not those of Vic Canales Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussion to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away.
We are back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation, and we're welcoming you to our listening audience, no matter where you are. If you're home, if you're driving out in your car, we do hope that you're having a safe drive wherever you are. If you're listening to us all across the nation on iHeartRadio, watching us on Facebook, talking to us on YouTube, hearing us on WSFS 104.3. If you're listening to us in 95.3 or 95.9 or 96.9 or 106.9 or 103.1 HD3, we're so glad to have you here with all of us on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. And if you've been listening, then you can gather we've been hanging out here for quite a while. We've been on this radio for 15 years, all across South Florida, different stations at different points, but this is where we are right now, and we're so glad to have you be a part of our spiritual family. Did you know I have a center in West Palm Beach? The Expedito Enlightenment Center, a spiritual oasis where you can go and shop. You can find crystals and candles and bracelets and oils and incense. You've got your sage. You've got all the tools necessary to kind of tune in and create that spiritual ambiance. We've got singing bowls. Do you like those crystal bracelets? Do you love to burn some good sage? Do you enjoy having an incense stick burning off in the distance? Do you like lighting a candle? Do you like manifesting? Are you looking for books to learn how to tune in and tap into your angels? Well, we've got that there for you, and it is available at the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in West Palm Beach. And you can learn more about the store at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com, and you can learn more on my website, Sarah Spiritual. And that's where you can meet me and have a personal session where we can answer your questions that are maybe a little more personal. Maybe you can't pick up the phone and call in, or maybe you're listening and you're not brave enough to call in. But you say, I sure would like to talk to Sarah. I've got some questions. Or I'd love to know what Spirit has to say. Or I need to know how to handle these things that are making me worry. Then go to sarahspiritual.com. There you can find choices of different sessions. I always suggest that you start with a general session. This gives us the opportunity to poke around and see everything that's going on. Well, as promised, we've got a special guest who's joining us now, Stacy Holler. She's calling in from Boston, and we want to hear what she's got going on in the spiritual land of planets and all of the astrology, and see how it's going to impact all of us. We've kind of merged into September already, so let's see what's going on. Stacy, how are you tonight?
I'm happy to be here with you. And after listening to your opening, I'm happy you navigated your way here tonight.
I know. I was like, oh no, it's not going to stop me from coming to my radio show. And you never know, right? You never know. And life can throw you some curveballs. And I don't know, I kind of feel like the planets have some curveballs lining up for us. And that we all need to know what to do and how to anticipate making choices and changes for ourselves. So, Stacy, tell everyone what's coming up. I know we've got quite a big happening coming this month. So, share with our listeners what's really coming up in general for us in the astrology.
Oh, well, Sarah, we're all feeling the pressure. The word of the month is transformation. Now, we've been talking about that since the beginning of the year, of how this was going to unfold. And there are so many heavy evolutionary planets affecting us personally and societally. We see it happening in the globe. So we're all in this together and individually. So first, let me say happy birthday, Virgos. So every month we want to celebrate you on your month. But back to what we're all feeling. So we did mention the Mercury retrograde shadow ended today. So Sarah, I'm hoping that's the end of some of the technical things you've been experiencing.
Yes.
I'm starting to feel it clear. It was definitely a rough retrograde for a lot of people. I know it was tough, and the shadow almost felt like we were still in its power. But that should be easing up. But that's not going to get us all escaping from the fact that we're all being forced to look at where we need to transform our lives. So this month, we already passed the new moon, and we always like to take a look at the new moon every month because that kicks off a new cycle. That tells us also where the focus is going to be for you this month. And then, of course, we're going to pay attention to the full moon on the 17th. You alluded to the partial lunar eclipse. It's a super full moon, and it's going to be very, very powerful, everyone, because it's aligning with Uranus. Now, Uranus, that's all about the unexpected events. That's all about the things that happen in our lives to us that we have no control of, but really makes us forced to make some decisions or to make a change or a turn. So this particular full moon is going to be powerful and may come with some unexpected events. So when we're talking about your sign or your rising sign, we'll talk about the areas of where this may occur. But I also want you to know it supports what your new moon is starting. So even though it might be bringing some events to us, it's really to help move us along in the transition. Now, Uranus is trining Pluto. That's profound transformation for us, for our planet, for our country, and for our own lives. And I know that's what we're all kind of feeling. So it's very similar, actually, to an aspect in the sky that we had in the early 1920s. And we talk about Pluto and Capricorn now. Pluto's in retrograde in Capricorn, went September 1st, and it's also a reckoning for our country. Our country is going through a Pluto return, so that's everything we're feeling. So, Sarah, how about we look at every sign and we talk about where we're going to focus and where this full moon might bring us a change that is really meant to keep us on our plan. So you ready?
We are ready to rock around the astrological clock.
All right. So as we go through, for anyone who knows their rising sign, listen to both. One may resonate more for you. So we're going to start with Aries. So the new moon this month, which is in Virgo, everyone, which is the practical sign, was in your sixth house of practicality. So this is where you need to look at work and your daily life and health. And the full moon, the help is going to come from your inner work. It's time for you to really look inside, really clear out some old stuff and make the changes of where you need to be. And the full moon's going to help you get there. Now, Taurus. And Sarah, I know you had a caller earlier who was a Taurus with a Libra rising, who was wondering about changes. And I think both of these signs might apply for her. Because this full moon for Taurus is in your 11th house, which is about values and goals. It could be about your friends and your collaborators and the people you work with. That's where the focus is. And what's going to happen, actually, that's the full moon is going to kick that off. The new moon is really all about fresh starts. So yeah, the focus for Taurus with the new moon is fresh starts. Where are your talents? What might start new for you out there? And look to your friends and collaborators. Now, Gemini, this new moon for you, your focus this month, home, family, your living situation, maybe working on a renovation, maybe a moving plan. And the full moon will help you somewhere in your career is going to trigger that. Maybe that will be your true calling. Maybe you will work from home. Maybe there's a shakeup needed in your career that will also affect your home situation. Now, Cancer, this new moon for you, communications, new projects, writing, something new, maybe in your neighborhood, maybe your siblings are helping you. And this full moon is all about inspiration for you, about what's going to get you this new thing going for you. Something new to study, something new to travel, go to a place, maybe out of the blue, you're going to take a trip. Now, Leo, this new moon, money, values, are they aligned? Where can you make new money? And what's interesting is when the full moon comes, you might get money from some outside source that's not the regular way money might come to you. Maybe an inheritance, maybe something about shared resources with a partner. You might see something happen that day. Now, Virgo, this month for you, it's in your first house. It's about you. Who do you want to be? What is your daily routines? What is your life like out there? And on the full moon, you're going to find the focus might be with your committed relationships. Who are you in that committed relationships? Maybe the people you're closest with will help you figure out who you are and what you want to be. Now, Libras, this new moon for you, it's about endings. It's about changes. It's about inner work. It's about clearing out the old to let in the new. And where those unexpected changes to help with that is going to be in your everyday life, which includes work. It includes your habits. It includes what you're doing in your daily life. So those of you that might decide you do need a change, that's where it might happen for you. Now, Scorpio, the new moon for you, that's in your house of goals and dreams and friends and even technology. What are you looking to develop in that area? Now, what's going to happen on the full moon is it's going to put you into your social media. It's in your very social fifth house. So get out there. Time for announcements. Move some things forward. Show your creativity. And Sag, the new moon for you this month, you're focused on your career. All right? What changes do you want to see happen? What are you looking to make a move? Where do you want to go? Now, the full moon for you, the focus might come from your home. Is it about your work-life balance that you need to change? Is your living situation? Maybe you want to change your working from home situation. Now, Capricorn, the new moon for you is in study, travel, your philosophy of life. You need to go out and experience things so you could look at the world in a different way. And what will happen on the full moon is it may come from your local community, from your neighborhood. Something might happen with your siblings that will spur you to try something new to experience. And Aquarius, for you this month, is about your closest relationships and your shared resources. And it may be to re-look at, common finances that you have with your spouse or your family. And what's going to happen on the new moon is that is in your money house. So you may see some money coming in as well. Some unexpected little windfall might come your way. And Pisces, the new moon for you is about your committed relationships, your closest romantic marriage relationships, business relationships. And the full moon for you is in your first house of new starts and where you want to be and help you to clarify who you are in those relationships and what you want and what you don't want. So in our own world, we're being pushed to transform in those areas. And unexpected events will happen. And, that's when the worry comes in. And Sarah, I loved your talk tonight because we all worry. And staying in the moment is the way to listen to your soul to help you guide you through what you need to do. And as we look at where we're going to focus, the cycle continues. So this is just our focus now, and it will help us get to where we need to go, ultimately, Sarah.
Ultimately, yes. And so when we look, Stacy, at this eclipse and this energy, how can we expect that to kind of impact us as a world, as a collective? The eclipse that's coming next week, what can you share with us regarding that?
Yes, it's on the 17th. And because that this eclipse, that the sun and the moon is trining Uranus, my best advice would be to expect the unexpected. Know you might have things coming into your life, and understand the purpose is that that's the area you haven't paid enough attention to. And since the overall message in the energies is about transformation, it will come to make us get on the right track and make the personal transformation we need to make in our lives for our ultimate happiness and achieve what we contracted with God to do this time around. So in order to prepare to know that changes may be coming for your ultimate good. And I challenge all of us to look inside, because I would say many of us even know internally where we might need to make those changes. And if we listen to our gut and our soul, it may not be a surprise. So making the move that we need to know internally always helps soften the blow if we don't do it properly and Uranus comes along. But just know to stick to your own truth and look inside for the answers of where to move, because as you tell us all, the answers are all there, right?
They're all there, always all there, deep in our soul. And we look forward to seeing what surprises come our way and really capitalizing on the energy of this new moon, and a lot of self-reflection for many of us so we can make this transformation and we can prepare for October, because as we move forward, we know we're coming to the close, who can believe this, of 2024. So we're in the final months of 2024, and what did we want to accomplish when we started this year, and what has shifted to maybe change the trajectory of that, maybe make it not be possible. So we have to kind of take a good look at how far we've come, and maybe if there's something better coming for us, we need to be open to that. If the plan that we set in the beginning of 2024 is not coming forward with ease and grace, maybe it's the universe's way of telling us something else is coming, and maybe this eclipse and some of the unexpected turn of events can put you in the best possible place you'd like to be. Stacy, we're really glad that you join us every month to share with our listeners all about the astrology and how it impacts their individual signs. And we're especially grateful for all the time and the work that you put in to prepare these reports. And I know that many of our listeners have a lot of questions. And if they want, they can visit you at destinyinthestars.com. And that's where they can learn more about the different sessions that you offer and how they can get insight as to what their astrological chart says. And tell our listeners some of the other things that you do offer on your website, please.
Well, thank you, Sarah. You know, one of the things that I do get asked a lot, and people come to talk about, well, what's happening now? And one of the changes are going to be made. So after you understand your natal chart, there's a session that combines, well, what is this year bringing? And look at the time frame. For instance, I was just working with some that I knew was going to have a job change. And early in the year was able to say, this is going to happen. So you could either make it happen, or if you don't, it will probably happen to you because you need to make this change.
Right.
So having that knowledge was able to put all the pieces in place. So when it ultimately did happen, Sarah, she was already on final interviews.
Beautiful.
So that's how you could help navigate some of that. And then, of course, people like to look at compatibilities, you and your partner, and how do the energies combine, and challenges, and how to navigate. And one of my favorites actually is working with children and baby charts, working with parents on talents brought into this life and what to nurture and where to help navigate all the way to child could walk into their full potential. So there are many things that we could look at and answer and help you guide along the way.
So we invite everyone to visit destinyinthestars.com and learn more about Stacy, her work, and be sure to register for a session so that you can experience everything that you need to know for this moment in time and develop a deep understanding as to who you are and how the stars and the planets have charted out a very unique path just for you. Well, Stacy, we greatly appreciate you spending time with us here tonight. And as always, it's been a pleasure, and we look forward to talking to you next month. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. See you again next month.
Talk
Bye.
then. Bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to pop off for commercial then. When we come back, we've got questions that are called in, and we also have some friends on Facebook and YouTube. We can't forget them, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing
Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me. Every soul has its story, like a movie playing. Every soul has a story. What's your story? We're tuning in here tonight on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we're answering questions. We just heard from Stacey Holler, our astrologer, who shares with us monthly exactly what's going on and how we can navigate the stars and the planets and what to expect. We've got our callers on the board, but I have some friends on Facebook and YouTube. I do want to pop in there and answer a question or two before we go back to the phone lines, and we've got calls all across the nation. So if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back for them. Let's go to our friends on Facebook and YouTube. Let's take a look and see what we've got cooking in our Spiritually Speaking with Sarah Facebook page. We got Lois Spats. What's the best way to get out of a rut when you have so much but you seem to be stuck, right? So no matter what, Lois, when you're stuck in a rut and you don't know where to go, the first thing I want you to know is that part of the rut is telling you how to step into a path of balance. So somewhere in your life, something's out of balance and you're not seeing the flow and the rhythm. So my guides tell me that the way you break the rut is to choose something new and different to do to add to your daily or weekly activity. Something that's inspirational and fresh and new, be it some meditation or going for a walk. Something that gets you out of the things that seem to bore you and seem routine and seem to keep you trapped, and puts you in the energy of grounding you to Mother Earth, opening you up to inspiring ideas, helping you express your creativity. This is such an important time for you. So Lois, you won't be stuck in a rut for much longer. And now that your birthday has just passed, it's really a time for you to kind of step out and claim your power and get your life in better order and balance. Do something new. Give yourself permission to kind of pop up and be expressive. Something new will shift and change, especially once 2025 comes. You're going to feel like you're on a new pace, and as they say in the song, you're going to have a new attitude. All right. Thank you, Lois, for your Facebook question. We're going to go back to our Facebook and our YouTube friends and see who else we can answer a question from. Let's see. All right. We've got Kimberly, and she's in contemplation of recent effects. She's feeling a big change, and she wants me to check and see, please, what's going on. So the first thing that I made aware of, Kimberly Griffiths, is, there's been a lot of change, but I also feel here, from what I can see, that your energy is really asking you what makes you happy. And it's time to check and see on the path that you're on, these new steps that you're taking, that you only take the steps, you only go in the direction of the path that makes you feel harmonious, happy, joyful, peaceful. Don't repeat the patterns of doing things that people expect you to do. So when change comes upon you, you ask this question. Kimberly says to herself, is this for my highest and best good? Does this bring me joy? Does this give me enthusiasm? Does this give me an idea of something new and exciting, a path that I'd like to explore that is going to be a great expression of myself? Kimberly, if you can answer yes to some or all of those questions when you're on the path of change, you're going to know you're making the right steps in the right direction on the path of life. Thank you so much, Kimberly Griffith, for your Facebook question. I want to pull one more, if we can, from Facebook or YouTube and really take a look and see what's going on, because I know my friends on Facebook and YouTube have been so patient for us to get to them. All right, we've got My Donaldson. My Donaldson says, hey, does my godmother have any words for me? I'm missing her dearly, and I feel so lost without her. So My Donaldson, the one thing I'm made aware of is that your godmother is really someone who is more of a best friend, a mother type energy, not just a godmother. And there is a time for you now that I feel that you've been feeling down and confused about choices in life having to do with what to do next on the path of your career and what will make you feel complete and financially well. And your godmother wants you to know that you're not going to be stuck in a rut, and you are going to be able to attract more abundance, and there will be opportunities. You are good enough, you are worthy, and I get the sense that at times you've been feeling as if you're a failure, because I hear her say, you can fail at nothing. You are great just the way you are. So please don't think that you're a failure. Things come to those who wait, and she is here to help you. Ask her, and she will be there for you. Thank you so much, my Donaldson, for your Facebook question. We're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah right here on the Oldie Station, and we're so happy to be able to connect with all of you, especially our friends in Miami. We're glad to have them here hanging out with us, and our friends at 95.3 and 95.9, 96.9, 106.9, and 103.1 HD3. We're going to pop back to the phone lines, and I've got to go to Massachusetts. I've got Ashley on the line. Ashley, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, Ashley. How did you hear about the show?
My sister.
All right. Well, we thank your sister. And Ashley, what is your burning question for us here tonight?
I have just been having a tough year and a half, and I was wondering if there were any messages from the spirit world at all for me.
Well, Ashley, are you also taking a look at things with your work and career? And are we exploring something new there as well, please?
Yes.
It is the perfect time. You've got a green light, all systems go to make changes financially, to up-level career, to make a change, to not look back, to feel like it's time for you to make a move forward. You're fully supported by your guides and your angels. I also am made aware of female energy standing above you in the energy of grandmother energy, your mother's who steps forward. That's the energy in the grandmother's side, mother's side of the family. Grandma passed, please, on mom's side of the family, Ashley?
Yeah.
Okay. She is with you as well, and she wants you to know that she is standing by you and supporting you. I also made aware of someone who seems kind of close to you, male energy. We lost someone who is in a paternal side of our family as well, please.
Yeah.
Yes. Father's side of the family, yes?
Yeah.
Stands in the position, actually, seems very fatherly to me. Did Dad pass, please? And Ashley?
No, my dad hasn't.
So your grandfather's passed?
No, my brother did, though.
Your brother did. Was your brother like a father or looked after you, a protector, someone for you, please?
Maybe in a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a male there, father's side of the family. Not a clear connection here, so I can't deliver anything more than that for you on that. But just know that he is present there for you. I'm also seeing Dad's father as well, because I do have that paternal sense of a father, and that grandfather energy is there for you as well. Brother passed unexpectedly, please. We weren't expecting him to pass. Is that true?
Right.
Okay. So just know that he's there, and this seems kind of recent. Doesn't seem like it was all that long ago. Is this true? Is in the recent past couple of years, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Okay. So know that he's with you, and when you talk to him, he will hear you. All right. That's all I can get for you at this moment from him. But this is the perfect time for you to move forward. You have a lot of love and support on the other side. And interesting. Is there something significant for with your dad's name and your brother connected to your brother? Is there like a family name or something connected to your dad and your dad?
Oh,
or
they
your
have
dad?
the same name.
Thank you, because they're
They
making
have
me
the
like,
same name.
yeah, because your brother's making me aware that there's something connected to him and your dad and the name, so they share the same name. So just know that everybody's with you here, and let your dad know that his son is at peace. All right.
Okay. Mhm.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashley, for your call. We greatly appreciate it, and we welcome you to the show. And if you'd like to have a personal session with me where we can explore connecting to your loved ones on the other side a bit more, go to my website, and we definitely can do that. Thank you so much for your call. Bye for now.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Bye. 866-972-7247. We've got to pop off for a commercial. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. Stay with us, everyone. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we will be right back.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
And we are back here in the live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation. So glad that you're joining us here on this September 11th. And let's not forget September 11th and everything that occurred on this day. And let's honor those who lost their lives. And let's remember that we never want to be in a place experiencing the difficulties that we did on that day and how it touched so many people's lives. So even though I know life has moved on and it's 23 years later, those of us who are from New York, those of us who used to commute, myself included, it was a horrific day for us. And it's forever etched in our minds. And so for those of you who have lost someone in that horrible experience, we most certainly have our prayers and we ask the angels surround you. And we want to also honor all of the pain that has been suffering and people have gone through over the years with any aftermath from that horrific experience. So we're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. I've got Linda in Palm Beach Gardens. Linda, how are you tonight? Good to have you on.
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Linda, what is your question for us tonight? What's worrying you, concerning you? How can we best help you?
Well, I've seen Sarah before, and she had mentioned that I had a indigestion type of problem that I need to get looked at. I really didn't take much account to it, and next thing you know, I was in the hospital with an indigestion problem. But anyhow, I that kind of like threw me for a loop. But anyways, during that period, my boss called me in the hospital and fired me. So not only did I have this problem in the hospital, and then now I'm fired, and now I have surmountable medical bills, and I'm just like wondering, like, I don't even know if I want to like go out and get a full-time job anymore. It's the job market out there. It's just the employers suck. They suck. And I'm like at the point, do I retire? Because I'm at that age I could. But with this obviously big bill, that's going to be a little difficult. But I just want to know, do you see any good coming towards my way?
You know, I do. And when I look at this year is a year of expanding who you are and being in tune and in touch with who you are. And perhaps we don't return to full-time right now. We find ourselves a part-time job while we're figuring out what would bring us some more joy and more happiness. I don't advise that you just jump and retire just yet. It's not, yes, you can, but it's not quite time yet. If you could buy yourself a little more time, it would benefit you and most certainly would help you reduce the cost of this hospital bill. And do see if you can negotiate the terms of some of those payments and see if you can get that overall amount lowered based on your current income status and the fact that you aren't working at this time. That may work to your advantage to perhaps get the bill reduced so that you can find a way to overcome that financial burden so that you don't go into retirement with that hanging over your head. I do feel that
Okay.
the next 60 days are still going to be a little wobbly for you, but then I do feel that you can find something, maybe something you can do from home, something that is a little bit of a routine, something that's kind of easy for you to accomplish without a lot of interaction with people. I feel like you're burnt out with people and you just need a break.
Right.
Does this make sense to you?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when
for
did you
sure.
when did you and I sit together and I saw you and you had and I told you something about your upper stomach and your indigestion? When was that?
In July.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
there are times I don't like to be right, and
Yeah,
here we are.
you were right. I wasn't paying attention.
But
I am now.
You are now. And did they give you something to help correct that? And are you watching your diet and making some better food choices for yourself? Good. All of that is really important. All of that is really important. Well, we know that in the end you will be okay. And yes, go ahead.
So you see some good things on the horizon maybe after the beginning of the year?
After the beginning of the year and definitely after the next 2 months, I think right now is a good time for you to kind of just do some work on your health and your body. One of the things that does help alleviate, I'm not a doctor, can't diagnose, but the medical medium has done a lot of work with celery juice. So if you can do some juicing and have some celery juice, that would be fabulous for you.
Oh, I'll look into that for sure. Thank you.
And if you're home, that'll make it a little easier for you to do. He does recommend that you drink several glasses of that during the day. It helps flush out the body, neutralize a lot of the acid. And if you look up the medical medium, he's got a lot of recipes and a lot of guidance, and he does have a big Facebook following, Facebook page. He's a New York Times bestseller. So you can take a look at some of his suggestions. That might be a good way to go. And also take a look at perhaps talking to someone who's a bit more of a functional medicine doctor. This way you may have some alternatives to any of the different antacids and things that they've suggested for you.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, I am truly glad that you remembered me, and we welcome you to the show. Glad that you called.
Definitely.
Most certainly not happy that you ended up in the hospital, but everything happens for a reason. It got
you
your
were
attention.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. And you recover from this because at least we caught it before it became something very complicated. I greatly appreciate your call. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have
You're
a great
welcome.
night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. 866-972-7247. I've got Andrea in West Palm Beach. Andrea, we've got 2 minutes. Andrea, how are you?
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Well, I
What's
wanted
your
to
question?
see
Yes.
if you had any information for me, because I do have a lawsuit started, the sewer gases. However, the other place, I've cut out the drywall, but seems to be we do have some mold. I believe it's in the AC units. Do you get that the AC units do need to be replaced, getting new ones, or they can be cleaned out?
And the vent as well, right? Did we clean the vent?
Not yet, no. You get that needs to be cleaned. Or, I mean, do I need new units, or are they cleanable?
You have 2 units operating there, please?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay. One of them may need to be replaced. It may be too much. There's just so much there's a lot of humidity there where you live. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. It almost seems like swampland to me. I don't know where you moved, but it just seems very,
it's not
very
great
heavy
for me, but
yeah. But one seems cleanable and salvageable. The other one, you may want to have it opened up, and you may decide. It just really feels like it's in every nook and cranny, and
the downstairs.
Yeah. So
the downstairs AC unit. Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to want to take a look at that and take it from there. I do know you're making progress. I understand that this has been so overwhelmingly, financially burdensome, overwhelmingly confusing, and just a weight, a thorn in your side. But I do feel like you're that much closer to taking care of all of this. now that we took care of things in underground, we took care of things all around, so now we are starting to move ourselves into better conditions for yourself. Are you feeling a little better in the home?
No, I'm in the place with the sewer pipes, but I did get a company that confirmed on the pitch. I do have a structural engineer coming on Monday. How do you see this resolving? Do you feel the builder is going to, what do you see?
Well, the builder does not want to take liability, does not want to assume it, but, it is their responsibility to pitch it properly, right? And this can create, many problems, and I don't feel like it's the first time that this builder's had this problem, so you may want to kind of check around. Okay, thank you for that confirmation. So at this point, since it's not just an oops, it seems to be a pattern, they're going to have to do something to correct that pitch, whatever that is necessary, and take on that action, and they will be in court with you if they do not. And it's not something for you to walk away from at this point, because you've invested so much time and money. You might as well just
I have so much money
through.
invested.
You do.
And I feel like what he's going to try and do is a smoke and mirrors fix, and what he'd like to do is resell it to somebody else and say he fixed it. And I'm just not going to let that happen.
Okay.
I could have sold this to somebody else, right?
Correct. And that was,
but I
one of the possibilities was you
going to
moving.
do that to somebody else.
Right. So, and you're going to have the engineers watching every move. They're going to measure and measure the angle and know exactly which way it's pitched. And until it's exactly the right way, we're not going to get off that builder. You're going to be on him, like as they say, white on rice. Well, Andrea, I've got to pop off. I'm glad I was able to get to your call. I am truly sending the angels to help you.
Sarah.
I know this has been an overwhelming process, but it's really more of a physical issue than a spiritual issue. So right now you're going to need people who are going to support you in making the change in your home. I thank you so much for your call.
Thanks so much, Sarah.
You're welcome. Bye for now. Bye. Well, here we are, the end of another show, and we greatly appreciate all of you who participate, listen, call, share the show on YouTube, Facebook. We really appreciate all of the support we've had all these years. We thank you for your participation, and we will be back next Wednesday night. Good night. God bless you, and I am Sarah Spiritual. And we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host,